Have you ever been in a conversation and just felt your brain totally short-circuit when someone asks you about your weekend? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into the real science behind why some of us find small talk so painful. Seriously, if you've ever felt like an outsider swimming in a sea of casual chatter, you are about to understand exactly why. Right? I mean, who hasn't felt this? That sudden, overwhelming urge to just vanish, rather than have to talk about the weather again. That exact feeling, that sense of dread, is what we're digging into today. Because for a lot of us, it's not just a little boring, it actually feels like torture. It's like you're being forced to chew on cardboard while everyone else seems to be enjoying a 5-star meal. So what is actually going on inside our heads that makes it feel this way? Okay, first things first, let's get one thing perfectly straight. This is not a personality flaw. The discomfort you feel has nothing to do with you being rude or antisocial. It's a direct signal from your brain. It's all about how you're wired. See, it all comes down to this thing psychologists call a high need for cognition. It basically means your brain thrives on depth. It loves complex ideas and gets a real kick out of digging into meaty, substantial topics. So when it's fed surface-level noise, it just feels empty, unsatisfied. So, how exactly does your brain protest? Let's peel back the layers and get into the really cool stuff, the neurological reasons, from your brain chemistry all the way down to its physical structure. It all starts with dopamine. You know, the feel-good chemical your brain releases as a little reward. Now, for most people, a bit of casual chit-chat triggers a nice little dopamine hit. But if your brain is wired for depth, that small talk just doesn't do the trick. It doesn't provide the same reward because your brain is looking for something way more substantial. And you can see here the difference is pretty stark. A typical brain gets a nice, big dopamine reward from small talk. But for a brain that's craving substance, that reward is tiny. It's almost nothing. So from a purely chemical standpoint, that conversation is a total dead end. So you have to understand, you're not trying to be difficult. Your brain is literally starving for substance. It's not a sign of bad social skills. It's a sign of a complex, hungry mind at work. And this brings us to our next point, performance exhaustion. For you, small talk isn't just a relaxing chat, it's a high-stakes performance. Psychologists talk about this thing called cognitive load, and that's exactly what this is. It's like you're playing this intense game of social chess, analyzing every single move. You basically enter a kind of survival mode. You're so focused on masking, on performing engagement, that you can't actually be present in the moment. The absolute exhaustion you feel afterward, that is a completely natural physical response to that intense mental effort. And here's where it gets really fascinating. From a neuroscience perspective, researchers have actually found that brains like yours often have physically thicker gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain responsible for abstract thought, complex planning, and high-level reflection. So your brain is literally physically optimized for depth. I just love this metaphor. It captures the difference perfectly. Your need for depth isn't a bug, it's a feature. You're simply operating on a completely different and, frankly, more complex wavelength. Okay, so we've covered the neurology, but this isn't just about brain chemistry, right? There's also a really powerful psychological drive at play here, and that is the deep, fundamental need for authenticity. It's this powerful internal drive to have real, genuine connections instead of just acting out some pre-written social script. Psychologists call it existential authenticity. And when you have it, every empty, formulaic question can feel like a small betrayal of who you really are. So your aversion to small talk, it's not antisocial. Think of it this way. It's actually an expression of your personal integrity. It's a quiet rebellion against this performance economy that values shallow interaction over any kind of real connection. So in these moments, your brain is constantly making a choice. On one side, you've got small talk. It's safe, it's low risk, it's a simple social lubricant. But on the other side, there's deep talk. Yeah, it's vulnerable, it's high stakes, but it is the only path to a real connection. So when you choose to skip that script and go straight for the big talk, that isn't social awkwardness, that's courage. You're making a brave choice to prioritize the chance for a deep, validating connection over the shallow safety of polite, meaningless chatter. And what about when the chatter finally stops? You know, that moment of silence that makes so many people panic? Well, for you, it can actually be a relief. That comfort with silence is a sign of a rich internal life and really strong emotional self-regulation. It's you saying, I'm good. I don't need to perform for you. Okay, we've looked at the neurology and we've looked at the psychology. Now, let's bring it all together and build a brand new perspective. It's really time to embrace your depth. You see, what you've always seen as a struggle is actually a collection of hidden strengths. It's a sign of cognitive complexity. It shows integrity that rejects performance. It's a sign of strong emotional self-regulation, and it gives you this incredible capacity for deep connection. Your brain is literally built for reflection. So if you take just one thing away from this explainer, please let it be this. You are not broken. You are not cold or weird or antisocial. You are simply a person who has seen through the superficiality of the social script. And once you see it, you just can't unsee it. So, embrace your wiring, value your need for substance, and just remember that the most meaningful things in life are rarely found in the noise, but in the quiet depth that lies right beneath it. Because after all, the quietest rooms often hold the loudest truths.
If this felt like a mirror into your own mind, hit that like button, comment,